Hey guys, hope you're having an amazing weekend. In today's analysis, we're going to be taking a look at gold, US oil, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Now, Ethereum has been making a lot of moves lately and is worth paying attention into. So, guys, if it's the first time you're just joining us, thanks for the very helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I strongly recommend that you join our Discord community where you get access to our real-time market data, communicate with other traders, and also subscribe to NFX mentorship plan on the nfxup.com. All the links are going to be in the description below. There you can learn how to be a professional forex trader and do all of these things I'm doing here on our chat, and also make more consistent, profitable trades. All right, guys. With that being said, let's get on chat. Now, as usual, we're going to start with our Bitcoin. Gold chat, which is our favorite asset, our favorite pair as well. So gold has been, it has been in a very long-term bullish trend. This is the daily chart. I'm going to switch down to the lower time frame so we can see more of the data. Before I do that, we'll just get a general review of what has been going on in the market. So gold has been on this long-term ascending triangle for quite a long time, from April 1st up to August 29th. So let's just say August 30th when we had the breakout from the ascending channel. So this was our ascending channel, so I'm just going to highlight that here with a test. Okay, I already did that as a SR or Tamari breakout. Yeah, so this was our ascending channel, and pick up my tool. I come on, don't have a test tool there. So yeah, so we got this ascending triangle. We got a test in black. Yeah, so we have this ascending triangle which lasted for a very long time, as I just earlier explained, and we have the breakout finally over here. Now, the tricky thing about the ascending triangle is this: usually the most conservative target profit for an ascending triangle is to take the height of that triangle. So we have this here as a height of the triangle, and we'll take a copy of this and replace it here, which I already did to save time. So we have it here. So that means that we're expecting a target level. So let's call this the ascending triangle targets profits. So usually this is our target profit for this ascending triangle. That's what market often do. And in as much as we've seen gold has been in a long-term bullish run, has been rallying for quite a long time, it's not going to stop. So there is no point of expecting to wait for lower prices. I see most people expecting price to drop real low back down, but that might not happen anytime soon, and even the global economic and the macroeconomic scale is not really supporting any bearish movement or even showing any sign of weakness at all. So it's fully bullish, it's long-term bullish, and I expect it's going to be bullish. So now on the larger time frame, we can see here what we have is a typical ABC ETH correction, ETH movement rather. So we have the first wave, then we have a corrective wave, and then we will have the third wave. So this why? Okay, yeah, because I changed my chats. I hope you guys like the chats that we have right now, because previously I was using the black templates, and I just switched to this new template. So that's why we are seeing this happen. So then we have the wave, make it more open so we can see it clearly. So we're expecting this sort of movement on our chats on gold as well. So even if we're going to get a short-term correction, it's going to be very short time. It's merely for you to just buy, get an option to buy or a long-term or long position, and not for a sell. Now, I would rather wait for you to get a possible lower entry price or a break above the current corrective wave, which is the second wave. So now I'm going to switch down to the lower time frame so we can see more of the data. So on the 4-hour time frame, yeah, we can see what happened currently in the market. Now, market is currently in this phase, and which I believe we'll see more correction, and it's very possible that we'll see price dip a bit lower from the last. What we have, from last Friday, we experienced this short term. There's like a near bearish breakout. So on the hourly time frame, we can see that here that we have this bearish breakout, but it's not very solid. We can pick out this one, or we could also pick. From this point here. I'll pick this one. Anyone I'm gonna pick. So in any case, you can see clearly that it's not a very solid bearish breakouts, because we have more more moves here, more kind of closes, and in any case, this might not last. This might just be short-lived because there is too much resistance at this level. There's too much support at this level as well. So we can see price has been consolidating. You'll see this place here. We have multiple support. So this is basically our support zone. And if I'm going to pick that out here, we have something like this. So it's very possible for price to even dip into the support zone here and linger here and go back up again. So I'm not really giving into the sell or short position on gold because it's not solid. There is no good sign of, there's no show of weakness in anywhere. There's no divergence of formation. There's no sign of weakness. And also we are expecting a very heavy fundamental report this week. On Wednesday, we're expecting the Canadian Bank of Canada interest rate decision, and most importantly, we're expecting the Fed interest rate decision. Now, this is where we're expecting 25 basis points cuts, but never can tell. It could actually drop up to 4, and that will be a massive bullish move for gold. Gold reacts very fast to this macroeconomic data. And also Jerome Powell will be speaking as well. So these are key significant things we're going to be looking at for the Bank of Canada press conference, the Bank of Canada interest rate, and majorly the United States Federal Reserve interest rates. And I strongly believe we should see a cut. Most likely, I'm thinking the 25 basis points, and that should put gold rather above 3650, which would be the breakout level, and that's what I'm expecting to see to happen this week. And following the last NFP results which was 22k, expected 75k. That was very bad. And this week we'll be seeing what the interest rate is going to be, and most likely it's going to be a cut because the US economy is currently in a big mess right now. So that's all we're expecting on gold. On the hourly time frame, yeah, we do have this correction, and there's a possibility for gold to drop down and test for lower prices. And if you're going to be trading on the hourly time frame, which I would not really suggest until I rather just wait till Wednesday before we take any entry, we could get this possible short-term correction movement down here to 3600 again before the lift. But till then, fingers crossed, and I'm going to be staying out of gold and waiting for the breakout or a good buy entry. But I'm not going to be shorting gold at any point in time. It's too risky, and I would never advise you guys to even short gold at any point in time, especially this week when we're expecting major macroeconomic data. All right, guys, so that was going to be all for gold. Now, the next we're going to be looking at is US oil. So US oil has been in a steady sell. The sell pressure is very high on US oil, and it's no surprise because the last week we saw the Saudis pushing for hiking the OPEC supply, and yeah, it's happened. We saw the OPEC increase supply, and I think the Saudis is going to push for more. And all of this is currently in alignment with the China's purchases, at the lower price from the black markets, that is the Iranian market and other unofficial markets. So all of these are pushing price for lower oil, and also on our charts we are expecting for oil price to drop really low. Last week we had a terrible reports for the crude oil based on the US inventory that was over 3 million barrels surplus, and I expect the same thing this week because the demand for oil lately has been very low and the supply has been ridiculously very high, and that's just basic economics. So I'm going to be expecting for most likely we're going to see an increase in the supply from the OPEC groups, nations rather. So I still believe Saudi is going to push for more supply hike, and obviously they're going to push for lower prices. So our target is actually 60 for stats, and we're looking towards the lower band of 55.5. Now these are very realistic targets based on the current demand and supply of oil, which is the black gold. We're expecting to see way much lower prices on oil. So this is the daily time frame. Remember we had this breakout below this descending channel, and since then we saw this retracement was due to the old war between Israel and Iran. Then with the threat of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. And since then, market has been correcting back to norm, and we have this here. So similar to gold, but we're having a reverse effect here. I believe we should see something like this, same ABC Elliott wave just on the bearish side this time. We could get this, and we should be looking towards a longer wave. So now this is most likely what's going to be happening, and even what we'll see here, if we take this out, so I'm going to just something that I'm just going to take out the wave. If we see what we have here on our charts, going back to the hour time frame, the 4 hour time frame, now we can see market had this falling wedge formation, which is a bearish continuation pattern, and most likely with this formation in line, you can see this here, and likely going to see price head for lower lows. So this is almost like yeah, I said 90% possibility of this happening. So even what we saw last weekend following the inventory report, we saw market retraced back to our trend line, which is also coincide with the 20.6% Fibonacci retracement level, serving as resistance for us, and this was rejected heavily. We saw that happen by the closure of our Friday market, and I expect market to continue dropping as the week begins this week, ahead of the inventory report on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday thereabouts. So yeah, it should be, let's see, crude oil inventory report will be coming up on Wednesday. Yeah, on Wednesday we should be expecting that report. So that would be all for oil. So I'm gonna tell you guys to really stay on the lookout for the sale. If you're in our Discord community, definitely I'm gonna be sharing my trade updates, and hope you guys will catch up some profit from there. We already took this trade and we made over 3,000 something pips on the oil movements right from here, the sale, multiple sales as well. So guys, that's all for oil, and I strongly recommend you guys to stick to the sell position on oil. No buy, just sell. And the long-term target, don't forget, is 55, way down below. And just a quick tip, if you follow this chat, you could get this setup. Where is my shirt setup? Yeah, we could have something like this. Depending on if we get the market jump up a little bit higher, we can take this position, put it above the 23% Fibonacci retracement level, which is also above the 200-day SMA as our resistance, and take a target profit for the first target 60.4, but I'm looking towards way much lower targets on the long term for the swing trade position. All right guys, so that's gonna be all for oil. We're gonna move down to BTC. So BTC, similar to gold, is on a rally. So I'm gonna go back first. No, this is too far back. I'm gonna go at just the H4 time frame. Yeah, so we have this formation on BTC. We could even go way much back. We can see just I have too many lines here, which might become confusing. So again, let's focus on the 4 hour time frame, not to get too confused. All right, so now what we can see is that BTC has been BTC is currently consolidating, and it was consolidating for a very long period of time, from the August 25th down to September 25th. Exactly I'll check something else. Okay, August 24th to September 10th. I always thought that was exactly 1 month. So that was a couple of weeks. So that was about 3 weeks, I think. So we had this market movements, and price was within this ascending triangle range, and we saw the break happened I think towards on the 10th of September, and then followed by a retest on the 11th of September. That was the day after, and then price will be continuously moving higher for higher prices, and I expect this to continue. And that's because this September, October, November, December, this last 4 quarters of the year actually coincides with our long-term Bitcoin price movements. Now, Bitcoin usually moves like this in September, October, November, December. It's usually a bullish month for Bitcoin. And also, if we go towards our larger charts, I'm gonna see if I can pick up my Bitcoin long-term charts and the BLX index. I'll check that on our 2 weeks chart. It should be 2 weeks. Yeah. I think this is still on my former chats setup. Oh my god. Okay, so let's see if I can quickly. I want to show you guys something quickly. Chat templates. That classic. Yeah. Okay, so logarithm chat. Yep.
All right, guys. So now we are good. So now I want to show you guys something quickly before we go back to our intraday analysis. So if you see, during the September period, I'm going to go to 2017 because that's exactly the market scenario which we are currently working with right now. So in 2017, we can see what happened in September. So you see the same thing that happened here. In August, we had these short bearish months, and from September, we picked up. The market picked up really fast, and through September, October, November, and December, it was all bullish months. And this is where we get a euphoric Bitcoin rally run. That's like the final leg of the rally. So I'm expecting to see the same thing in our current market play out. So we saw that same thing here. August, we had the same pullback. You can see it's very similar. There are too many lines here, guys. I can't really adjust that here, but I just want to pay attention to what I'm going to be showing you guys now. So you can see this is our area of focus. Now this is August, and we had the same pullback down in September, in August ending, and now we're in September, and I'm expecting us to see a bullish pickup. The same thing we had here in September 2017. So I'm going to put it up here. Yeah, so we'll see the same thing in August, right? We had this bearish movement, and from September we started moving higher, and September would close in a bullish, with higher prices, and continuously comes October and the rest. So that same thing is what we're expecting, and we're seeing being played out right now. Look at both of them, very similar. Now it should not always repeat itself, but most times it rhymes, and if it rhymes, you should better pay attention to it. So going back to our Bitcoin charts, so we can see what we have here is a very similar thing. So right now I'm expecting to see that after we broke through the ascending channel, we also had a very strong block order here on Bitcoin, which was around I think about 115k, and price broke through that here. I'm going to go now to the hour time frame so we can see more detailed activity on what was happening in the market. So now we saw that after we broke out through the ascending triangle, then we saw price consolidated within this channel for a while, and then we broke out the block order. Now after breaking out, the block order started to serve as our new support level, and that's what we see here. So price entered into this ascending channel. We saw the price hit the highs, and then it came back to test the support level here, which was the previous resistance, and it held strongly. And you see the rejection was very firm and solid. And so price head higher to make new highs around 116.816, and since then we've been in this consolidation, and we had this drop down here, which I strongly earlier said in chat in our Discord that is most likely a fake out, like a bearish trap, and that was because we have this hidden bullish divergence here. It's not a typical regular divergence, but we saw that here. We saw price make higher lows, and then we saw lower lows on our RSI scale, and that tells us that there's a strong bullish momentum picking up, and we saw the effect immediately after a couple of hours. We saw price made rose higher to the top of the the resistance of the ascending channel, which lingered a while, and we're still seeing the same thing. So if this was a breakout, we should have seen price continue going back down towards the lower band of the support level of the ascending triangle, but that did not happen, and instead we're seeing price made multiple tests around this level, which have now put in the orange zone as our ranging support zone, and that makes a lot of sense because the price is failing to close below this level. So I'm expecting as soon as we break above the 0.5%, 50% Fibonacci retracement level, and also we'll see price break above this was our major resistance zone right now. I'm just going to put that here. I'll pick up another box. So this is currently our new resistance zone. We'll put that in red for call disparities. So these are currently our new resistance zone, and I'm expecting price to break through resistance zone. So it's gonna be inside now, right? Inside. Yeah, so as soon as price break above this resistance zone, I'm expecting to see price head higher for new all-time highs. So if you remember what we did earlier on the gold charts, you pick up the same thing, and this is the height of our triangle, ascending triangle. Pick up from the breakout level.
So you see, we're expecting price to make a target of 119k. That's 119 to 120k target as the conservative target level. Most likely, when price gets at that point, there is not so much resistance anymore. So these are our key SR levels. We have this here at 117k. We have this here at 119k, and above that, there's nothing really stopping Bitcoin from making new highs at 124k, or probably even seeing getting a bit of jump towards 129k, which would be 1.7% Fibonacci retracement zone. So guys, that's all for Bitcoin, and I hope you got that. For now, I'm going to be sharing the trade in our Discord community, of course, but I'm watching the market closely to see how the market reacts, to this range, and see how long this is going to last for. I don't think it's going to last for long because FOMC is coming up this Wednesday, and while I'm expecting much impact on gold, of course, Bitcoin is always reactive to the interest rate decision. And I expect us to see the breakout happening this week, and head for higher prices towards 117k for stats, and we can kick up from there. All right, guys. So the last we're going to be looking at is Ethereum. So similar to Bitcoin, Ethereum has been making more moves and generally way much stronger, in a bullish rally, because it has shown no sign of weakness. We've been following this trade for quite a long time in our Discord server, and that's why you should be there if you're not yet there still. So we saw, like, similar to Bitcoin, we had this long-term consolidation, although not running through a triangle. It was more of a ranging chart. We saw Ethereum move in this position for a long time, from the same 28th of October and up to, they all broke out around the same time on the 10th of September. Ethereum broke out fully on the 12th of September. And after the breakout, we saw the short-term price retest on the hourly time frame. That is more clear and visible. You can see that here, right? So I'm going to go back to 4-hour time frame. So when we had that retest, we saw price pushed up really fast. It was fast, and it was full bullish candle, and we saw that continue above the Fibonacci trend resistance of 23.6, and we saw price make new highs around 4,771 before retracing back. Now, initially, we had this strong support level here, which I thought was going to hold because it's broke out really fast, and this is where we'll pick our support level from, but that support level did not hold as expected. Instead, price broke through on the second test. I'm going to go down now to the hour time frame. So the first time it was rejected again, and then we had a breakout. So after the breakout, price fell into this descending channel, which is a very bullish channel for us, and I'm going to show you guys why shortly. So this is a typical bullish ABC movement. I believe by now you should already get familiar with that because I've done that 3 times now. So we have quickly ABC Elliott wave. So we have this movement, we have the breakout, we have the first wave, we have the corrective wave, and then we are expecting the third wave, which will be most likely happening very soon. So I'm going to pick up that, put a wave back there, yeah, so you can see clearly, and take it out again. So I'm expecting us that we should see price form a breakout above this support and resistance level, which will be around that 46.90, 46.50, that price range. And when we get that breakout, I'm expecting price to go really way much higher than it has than it currently had before. Usually, this is the short-term price targets, which was already achieved. Yeah, so that was already achieved here on 750, and our next target would be based on our what's called Elliott wave movements, and that is exactly what we're going to be expecting here towards this level 50.76. So for now, guys, that's all for Ethereum. I'm going to show a quick trade support. So if you're going to take in this trade, we're looking at something like this. RSI is going to be right below the SR level. Entry is going to be somewhere around here, slightly above the SR level, because we want to be very sure that the breakout is going to be above the channel and above the resistance zone, and our target will be somewhere around here. So this is going to be perfect setup. I'm going to be sharing this in our Discord community as well. So if you're there, you don't have to worry too much about this. But if you're not there, just try to keep this and work with this. This is a very good setup. So I'm fully bullish on Ethereum. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on gold.
and I'm bearish on US oil. That's also the summary of today's analysis. Find it very helpful, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, join our Discord community so you don't miss out from this amazing trade. We made over 3,000 pips profit last week, and I expect us to make way much more this week because we have more interesting activities coming up and more impact news. And lastly, if you want to learn how to trade, because I always encourage you to learn how to trade rather than just following up signals and following up market insights, get the knowledge for yourself and become a pro. You can do it. All right, guys, take care of yourself and have a great trading week ahead. Cheers.